Guys, all the cars that you see in these videos are for sale on my website, www.woodsandbarclay.com. Enjoy the video. All right, guys, welcome back. Today we are back on the 84 300 SD. As you've seen in previous videos, we've already done all of the mechanical work. Now we want to start addressing anything I see on the interior. First thing I notice is that the antenna is not retracting. So we want to take out that Hirschman antenna and take it apart and get it on the bench and restore that and get that back to good working condition. And the other item I want to address, there we go. It looks like, I guess the previous owner was playing around with this switch and it is out of the center console. So we want to address that. Also, I saw here on the armrest, the coloring is a little faded on the armrest, and it looks like there's a little crack in the leather starting to appear. So on my shelf, I actually had the correct leather wrapped, color matched armrest from another car. What are the chances that I had that on the shelf? So that is the exact same armrest that came in this car. So we're just going to go ahead and swap the armrest for that beautiful condition leather one over there. And then that will look fantastic. So let's go ahead and get the switch out of here and get the antenna out of here. All right, I've got this switch on the bench and I can immediately see there's like some resistance or something going on when you click it forward. It clicks back fine, but not forward. So we want to pop open this switch. I bet you there's some junk or debris down in there. Ah, look at that. There's our problem. It looks like a piece of plastic from, that is not from the Mercedes. That is a piece of plastic that got wedged down in there somehow, and that is not part of the Mercedes. Not something, who knows what that is. Interesting. Well, there we go. That's easy enough. That'll fix our problem. And let's go ahead and clean this switch out with some Deox, re-lubricate it. And let's take a look at this back one too. Yeah, this switch is fantastic condition. It's super clean down in there. We're going to go ahead and clean it out, put a little dab of grease back on these buttons and pop that back in, and that's going to work fantastic. So let's go ahead and spray this out with some Deox. There we go, very nice. And I'm going to hit it with a little bit of compressed air. I'll be right back. Okay guys, something I just noticed, despite the switch now working correctly, you see this little lip right here? That kind of goes flush with the wood center console, and on this side it's actually cracked off and missing. So we're going to install a new switch because of that. And we have there's a factory original Mercedes switch, same exact part number. So let's go ahead, we're going to take this one apart and make sure this one's clean and get this one installed in the car. And actually, I noticed the buttons, we're actually going to use the buttons from this switch because the buttons here are a sticker, and this is actually kind of engraved onto the button. So we're going to move those buttons onto our good switch housing. Okay, I'm going to reinstall this switch, and what I noticed about that other switch, it was from a different model year because the switches in this car had the stickers as the icons, and this matches the passenger switch. That other one had no stickers, so we've got the correct part number, genuine Mercedes, correct model year with the correct icons. So we're going to go ahead and get that reinstalled, and we're going to check our driver's side window because that was the switch that was messed up. All right, let's get our switch back in here. Yep, there we go. All right. Let's test this out. You guys should be able to see the window. Ah, beautiful. Let's check the back. Beautiful. Let's check the... All right. Sweet. We have a good condition switch. Let's go ahead and pop it back down here in the car. Boom. Back to factory original. All right, let's go check out that antenna. All right, guys, I briefly popped out the ashtray and slid forward the radio just to make sure our actual antenna control was connected correctly, and it is. However, when I operate the antenna button, I'm not getting any activity on the antenna, so we're definitely going to take that out and see what's going on. All right, guys, let's go ahead. The antenna is fully extended, so it's going to be interesting. We might have to pull the mast out or get some power applied to see if we can manually retract it. But let's see what we can do here. Okay, since the mast is extended, we need to get it loose so we can actually get it through the hole. And you can do that with a 13 millimeter. And that just screws out of here. And then we should be able to bend it. There we go. There we go. Now we can actually in that antenna. Okay. Mission accomplished. We got this thing out of here, and we can go get this on the bench. See, I just took the shaft out of here like that so then I could flex it to get it through the hole. And let's go get this on the bench and see what's going on. All right, guys, we do have several other antennas if we need to grab any repair parts for this one. But I doubt it's broken. We just want to see what's going on down inside here. So we got to get this thing off of here first, which can be a pain in the butt. All right. We got that one. And if we get one more, it'll probably start to come loose. There we go. Okay. Well, first thing I noticed is that the gasket was intact. And this thing actually looks fantastic. There's no water damage or anything in here. That is excellent condition. Still even got the grease in here. So let's figure out why this guy is not working. Okay, guys, I've got, let's see, power to, see if I can get in here and look at this. Power to pin 2 and ground to pin 6. And then if we jumper pin 2 to pin 4 or pin 5, we should raise or lower. So, all right, that raises. Okay. All right, so this motor is actually working. Let me see what pins actually retract it, see if it goes the other way. Okay, so what I can tell, we saw it in extend mode, and what I can tell is that it's malfunctioning. It's not retracting. So let's go ahead and take out this circuit board, have a look at it. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me zoom in. There are some questionable spots here. I don't know if you can see that in the video. It looks like there's a burnt spot here, possibly here, and possibly here. Yeah, something happened in this area right there. So I'm going to replace this with another part, and we're going to see if that helps us out. All right, here we have another antenna, same make and model, and we're going to test this circuit board and see if this one behaves properly. And we might either, if this one's a good one, clean this one up, use this antenna, or swap the circuit board over. So pin 6 is ground, pin 2 is constant power, pin 6 is ground, pin 2 is constant power, and if we do over to pin all right, this one is correctly retracting, which we were not getting that behavior. This circuit board is actually working correctly. Yeah, however, I like the internal components of our original antenna better. They're much cleaner and look nicer. So I'm actually just going to swap our circuit board over. Oh yeah, so see, this circuit board does not have any burn marks on it. That is excellent condition versus, there you can see the difference. See how this one looks a little, there's a couple of burn spots. See the difference in boards? So we're going to unplug. Let's just make sure our connections are the same. Sliding this circuit board, there's some guides. See the guide right there? That little strip. All right, so we're just sliding back in our board here. Here we go. And actually, pin 4. Aha! Up and down. Boom. We have a good working circuit board. There we go. All now right. We'll lubricate this and get a new antenna mast installed in here. All right, we have our antenna mast. Here's our replacement mast, and basically I've unscrewed. This is the mast housing, and this unscrews. You can take that out. You gotta make sure this thing is on here first. But let me pull that back out so I can see it come out the other end, and push this guy. Here we go. I'm just feeding the mast into the end. There it goes. All right. So then I just pull this out so I can see we can see our mast sticking through here, and I just kind of orient it. There we go. There we go. And I take it out. There it goes. I'm just feeding it in here. Hopefully you guys can see that. Oh. Boom. See how I fed that in there? Now I'm going to go ahead and screw back on the top here. And we're just going to put a little, see right there in the gears? Just going to brush some right in there. There we go. And the worm gear, and that should be sufficient. All right, we're actually going to go ahead and set that one inside the little cup there. There we go. And one pushes on the motor, one like pushes on here, and one goes on that little peg. So when I reassemble them, I start at the bottom, get the peg lined up at the bottom, and there we go. All right, you can see we got the antenna remounted in here. Here's our new grommet, because it's going to need a new water protector, or a grommet that keeps the water out. So we'll put that in there. But first, let's go ahead and test it. I'm going to go up and turn on the radio, and we're going to see what happens here. Okay, now I'm going to hit the full extension. Oh yeah, very nice. So we had partial extension, then I hit the switch, and then it went all the way up. Now I'm going to go manually operate the switch and see if I have manual control. All right, then we just turned off the radio. Boom, that thing is working fantastic. So we got a restored antenna. Let's go ahead and get that grommet in there. Okay, I just simply took the grommet. You put a little grease, or I just use a little motor oil on it, and then put a little piece of wood on top of it and just press down pretty firm, and it just kind of snaps into place there. And let's go ahead and put our antenna back in. Tucks down in here like that. We tuck this one up behind here. All right, and there we go. And of course I need to vacuum back here and clean, but that is back together with a functioning antenna. All right, now we're going to go ahead, raise the seat up a little bit, remove that seat back, detach the armrest, and I'll show it from the other side once I have the seat back off, and then put on our new old stock armrest that doesn't have the little crack in the leather. There's our beautiful old stock armrest. That thing looks fantastic. But underneath here on the seat back, there are two screws. See, there's our screw. Let's see if I can get this side right here. Kind of pull up on the edges. There we go. So we got the bottom detached. We can pull that back. All right. Now you need to pull straight down because there's some clips up here in the back. There we go. All right. So once we have their seat back out, we can get access to the armrest bolt, and I'm going to show you guys that now. All right, guys, there is the armrest bolt. You can see it right there. I use a 1 1/16 socket. I don't know what the metric is. That might be like a 21 or 22. I just know 1 1/16 works. So we're just going to get in there, and it's just one bolt with a star washer on it. All right, there we go. There's that big nut, and here's the star washer right there. We want to put those back on, so we'll pull out the armrest with the crack. Now also, there we go. That just clips back on, and it's cosmetic. It covers the edge of the hinge, so when it's in the car, you don't see a nasty old metal hinge under there. All right, let's go ahead and stick this back in. There we go. We'll get our star washer. Put that on there. We'll get our our nut. All right, let's just tighten this guy back down. There we go. It's nice and tight. And now let's go look at our fixed armrest. All right. Boom. Look at that. That is beautiful. There's a button over here. Look at the condition of that leather. That is so nice. The other one had that crack going across here, and it was a little faded. There we go. Now look at our front seat. Very, very nice. All right, so let's get those seat back nets out and repair those. All right, guys, this side over here is giving me some problems because I can't get enough torque on this screw to get it out. And when that happens, I have this right angle drill, and it works perfect for coming up underneath here, and you can actually put some pressure on it and let the drill do the work. There we go. Those are hard to get out sometimes. All right. Now, let's just fold the sides back a little bit. These are on there pretty snug because they've never been off, and it's leather on leather, so they're kind of stuck on there. There we go. All right. Now I'll pull down on it. Yeah, up here at the top, the leather of the seat is kind of stuck to the leather of the seat back, and it's making them tough to get out because they've been stuck together for so many years. There we go, almost. There we go. Yeah, see, this leather here was pressed up so tight against that leather, and it kind of bonded it together. But we got these out. Let's go get these on the bench. So here I'm getting to use my new cart for the first time. I had a buddy that he's a metal fabricator, and he welded together all these panels and made a super nice shop cart for me. Put some really nice casters on the bottom. All right, there we go. That's a good view. So we can see these nets, they need a little help. We want them back up here, not like that. So this surround right here, the net frame is very, very delicate. It's plastic. When it's on the car, it's good. It's not delicate. But taking it off of here, you can easily crack them. I have extras in case we do, but we're going to go ahead and remove it and see how it goes. So there we go. First thing you see are these two screws right here. And then down at the bottom, you have a series of little plastic clips. There's two here, two on this side, then they run along the bottom. Let's go ahead and take those off, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, these are just some Phillips head screws here. Screw those out. All right, we'll screw that one out. There we go. We'll set those aside there. Okay, here's where the tricky part is. You basically want to slide the net. Oh, sorry, it pops out. You can pop the net out here. And that one's on there pretty good. Let's see if I can get it off without breaking it. Ooh, yeah. So this being a leather car, a lot of stuff is stuck to the leather. There we go. All right. There we go. So now see how I can slide it up. And you can pull those clips through there. We can slide that side up. Pull those clips through there, and this is where you got to be very careful. And once they're through, like right down here in the corner, once that's through, oh man, don't break it. There you go. You can then slide it to the left and get these center ones to pop out. There we go. We got it. Boom. All right. So let's go ahead and set this out of the way. All right. Now, here's how you repair this. If you can see right there. And this is very simple. It's a little tedious. So this little clip, you got to get it rolled over, and you can pull it out like that. It's stretched over the years. See, it was down like this. So we pop this out and we want to cut some length off and then reattach the clip. And then there you go. You have it back to taut again. So all we do to do that is we got to remove this little piece right here. And you can do that like with a pick and a little hammer, and you can pry that off, pull it down, clip off the excess, and retighten it. All right, here's the tools I use to get that little clip off right there. And the way that clip works, see it, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me zoom in. There we go. See, it's just like it's a clip that's then clamped or crimped onto there. So if you get your little, there you go. See, I get my pick underneath there, and I take a little hammer, and there you go. It will unclip it like that. All right, now get a little screwdriver in there and just finish it off. There we go. All right, there we go. That one's undone. And you see there's little, yeah, you see how there's little teeth? That's what was gripping into there. We can move it to where we want it. Oh, got one more holding on right there. There we go. So we move it where we want it. I want it right there. We need to crimp it back together. There we go. So we have that re-crimped on there. Now we want to cut off our excess. And then we put it back through there, through the little slot. Boom. Guys, I made that look pretty quick and simple, but first time I did it, I broke 2 of these and I had to find more in junkyards. So you got to be very careful not to break these plastic parts. They're very fragile. All right, to clean it, guys, might sound crazy, but Spray 9 degreaser is perfect for cleaning the leather on these cars. I know it sounds crazy. This is what the actual detail shop uses, and it is magic stuff. Well, gosh, y'all can already see the difference right there. Now, you got to be careful because it's a very strong degreaser. You don't want to spray it on, because it'll leave like drip marks. There we go. All right. Let's get this guy back on here. And the first 2 you want to go in without breaking them. Let's turn it over. Is your center section. These 2 right down here. You want to be very careful. Oh, it's so tedious. There we go. And you can slide it to the right. All right, we got them. Boom. All right, then we want to put back in our screws. And you guys can't see the one I'm doing here, but I'm just doing the one on the other side. Look at that. That is what they look like from the factory. And it's not that the elastic is like ruined. It still has elasticity to it. It just tightens them up and makes them look good again. Remember before, this was all sagging down. Before, this one looked like that. See how it's all sagging down and loose? That stuff makes a big difference. So let's go ahead and do the other side. And just like magic, we have the other side done. Boom. Doesn't that look so much better? Let's go get these in the car. Okay, we have the nets back in the car. And look at that. Doesn't that make a huge difference? And you guys will see those little indentions in the back of the seat backs. That is the headrest removal button. If you actually press, there is a button behind there. And when you press hard, it releases a little latch, and then you can pull the headrest out. So that's what those little indentions are. But that looks way better now that those seat back nets are not sagging. Much, much better. We successfully got the antenna working. We replaced the grommet. We changed out the armrest. That looks really beautiful. We repaired and replaced our master window switch. I got to put the ashtray back in because I pulled out the radio to check to make sure the antenna connection was being made correctly back there, and it was. So I got to put that ashtray back in. But I'd say we knocked out a good many, just small items. Next, what we want to do, you can see I have the gauge cluster pulled out, and very common on these cars, the dimmer switch. It's the is it the rheostat or potentiometer that you turn to change the brightness? That's not working, and that is super common on these cars. But when it's not working, your dash lights won't come on, and it won't light up your little window switches and all that. So I've got a new potentiometer over on the bench that I just ordered, and we'll go ahead and take that out and replace it. And guys, all this little piddly stuff that I'm showing you right now, you have to do this on just about every one of these cars, even the nicest ones. I mean, you guys can see this is an incredibly nice, well cared for car, and I'm having to do all this little stuff. I've been out here in the shop 8 hours today, just going through all this. So when you got to be careful when you buy one of these cars on Bring a Trailer or Craigslist, you're going to have to do all this. At $110 to $180 an hour is what standard shop rates are. Not to mention parts. If parts are included in that hourly rate, then you're looking at $1,500 just immediately upon picking up a car. So just wanted to point that stuff out. You have to do all this stuff on 40-year-old cars, and you guys have seen the other videos on this car. I mean, complete suspension overhaul. We've gone through this bumper to bumper and touched most of the items in the car. And this was a well cared for, documented, full records written out by hand. People loved this car, but at 38, I think this is 38 years old. This is just what you have to do. So anyway, over here on the bench, we have the gauge cluster, and I'll show you guys what fails on these rheostats or dimmer switches. So here's our dimmer switch right here. Actually, on the front side, there's our knob right there, and it goes all the way through. And what fails is, there we go. You see that little spring? That little spring, there we go, there's a better shot. That little spring is what the, let's see if I can turn it here. See, that's what the dimmer tries to ride on and change the resistance, and those springs will pop out. And you think, whoa, I'll just put the spring back in. It doesn't work that way. You can't just put the spring back in. You have to change it. A lot of what people normally do, and it's kind of a hack, you'll see them solder There you go. This one is actually, you can see the corrosion, I think this is ceramic. You can see the ceramic has gotten chewed up from it being turned, and the spring rubbing up against there. What people normally do, they solder a little jumper across the input and output, and then your dash lights are just always on full blast, which is not bad. That's fine. That's just the hack that you see on most cars. But we actually want to change it and put it back to factory original. All right, guys, what we have here is a genuine Mercedes factory original potentiometer. Now you'll see this one. Whoop, didn't mean to bump the camera. You see this one, see the spring down in there? There you go. See how that rides smoothly across the spring? And the spring is actually, it's like bonded in there with that ceramic. See it over there too? And then the contacts come through on both sides. So that's why you can't just stick the spring back in there. It's like bonded in there when they manufacture it. So we're going to take, and this goes out through to your knob. So we're going to take this other one out of here. Yeah, this one's toast. Take the screw out. There we go. That's a genuine part. Again, let me show you up close. This is our bad one. There we go. You see all that corrosion right there? And you see how the spring, it's come detached. And you don't see it bonded in there anymore. And you think you would just put it back down in there, glue it or something, and everything would work again. But they don't work like that. It's best to just replace them. Somebody out there, I'm sure, can repair them, but that's not me. In the car. All right, I've just cleaned around here with rubbing alcohol, and then we just got some Windex. Now you can see. All right, I have all the lights turned out in the shop so we can test our new dimmer switch and see our gauges and check all our other interior lights. So I'm going to turn on the headlights. Boom. So our dimmer switch, I'm turning the knob now. Very nice. See how our dimmer works. Also, now that that's working, we can see we have, like, that's the all the lights along the console here. There's our hazard light. There's our climate control lights. The radio lit up. The ashtray light correctly came on. Let's see if you guys can see this. I'm not sure if you guys can see this in the video. These are, you can barely make it out, but it's actually way brighter. That's our parking shifting selector. And there are all the lights for our windows. And if we notice, if we do the dimmer switch, if we turn it down, all right, see how we dimmed all those? And now we turn them all back up and see how they correctly react to the dimmer switch. Now these are our AC vents. Those will even dim. The vent controls. Perfect. So that's working fantastic. All right, what we also want to check is our clock. So I'm going to arbitrarily set the clock here. Here, we'll just make it high noon. And we're just going to wait a couple of minutes and make sure that that is correctly turning. Okay, here we are about 4 minutes later. And yes, clock is working. I can actually hear it ticking. So that's good. We got everything knocked out on the interior today. Yeah, I think that's it. I think I got everything perfect on this interior. Okay, last thing I spotted here, the wood on the glove box. We can see it just started to come delaminated from the aluminum backing plate. So we want to remove this this piece of wood from the glove box and take it over to the bench, and we'll reattach that with some epoxy or some gel-based Gorilla Glue. I'll have to take a look at it, and that'll be back together. So we'll save that for another video. And pretty easy process, takes about 20 or 30 minutes. Interior. Now I just need to push the gauge cluster back in and kind of clean up my mess in here. And stay tuned for the next video, because we're going to be doing a valve adjustment, pop off all the throttle linkage, lubricate the throttle linkage, might get the engine up to temperature and make a small adjustment to the rack damper bolt. That'll smooth out our idle. And yeah, we should be getting close to the end of this car. So hope you enjoyed it, and subscribe, like, comment, email me, call me. Anyway, talk to you guys next time. See ya.